were right. He's all that you promised. I haven't seen a finer horse in all of Egypt.
I'm glad Your Excellency is pleased. There is still one small matter.
Oh, yes. As we agreed.
Oh, forgive me, but something is not quite right.
I thought I brought the right amount.
You're a busy man. Anyone could make a mistake. He's yours. Pharaoh himself would be jealous.
Yes, fine horse.
Master, I think you should see this.
Get away from that. Don't touch it.
Well, look at that.
It's broken. Your Excellency, I had no idea.
Of course not. You're a busy man. Anyone can make a mistake. And yours is going to cost you your freedom.
Please, keep the stallion as a gift from me.
No. Take him away.
I have a dozen more horses. Take them all, please, anything.
Potiphar, you should keep it. You said it was the finest in all Egypt.
And own a horse taken from a thief? What would that say about my honor?
You and your honor.
You've done well. What's your name?
Joseph.
Joseph. You're an educated slave. Where did you learn?
My father taught me.
He taught you well.
Shalom, all praises, glory, all the honor and the fear unto the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Makakwadash. That belongs to elders and apostles, great millstone, citation to elect, the true real house of David, the few men that still remaining in the fight and standing up for righteousness and leading this charge. And when you go to the scriptures about fame, you know, it's twofold. You know, you have the unrighteous fame, you know, riches got by deceit, you know, coming up against the righteous, like number 16, Nadab and Abiram, right, Korah and them. And then you also have the fame that's coming to the elect. But see, you have to go through the humiliation to be brought to that great honor. So this is Matthew 14:1. At that time, Herod, the Tetrarch, heard of the fame of Yahushai. Now, when you go into the word fame here,
Strong's G 189 Aka.
and it says the sense of hearing, right? A thing heard. It says of preaching the gospel. So the key point of why the fame of Yahushua was spreading, because he was preaching the gospel. He was teaching the truth. He was the truth. And the same thing with us. We're preaching the gospel. We're prophesying the gospel. You know, not like the scribes. It says hearsay, report, or rumor. And let's get that precept, because it was not as the scribes was coming. It was a whole different ball game. It was a whole different spirit that our Lord came in, and also the few that still remain is coming in. Because a lot of guys you'll seem to notice that they don't go into Matthew 23. They don't go into judgment, mercy, faith. They go into just breakdowns on prophecy. Oh, this is gonna happen. Famine of the word, not knowing that we're already in a famine of the word. The men that have Yahushai dwelling in them, the spirit, they're cancel culture. They're discommunicated. They're hated. They're cast out the synagogue. Don't listen to him. You know, don't watch him. You know, and the ones that's highly exalted, right? The Pharisees and scribes, they sit in Moses' seat. They get the praise of men. Everything they do to be seen of men, they do filthy lucre for money. Everyone's listening to them, and that's why that little leaven is leavening the whole lump. So it's no longer about, you know, what camp you may be in or how many brothers, quote unquote brothers, you have around you. It's if you have a brother in Yahushua, if you're a true brother to your brother, you know. It says this is Matthew, it's like in Mark 1:22, and they were astonished at his doctrine, right? The teachings of the Lord, how he taught, how he brought it out. For he taught them as one that had authority and not as the scribes. And the thing is with the Pharisees and scribes, they was always asking Yahushua, you know, who gave you this power? Who gave you this authority? which if Yahushua would have even answered them, they wouldn't have even understood, because they didn't have the Father. They didn't know the Father. A lot of these guys were the father devil, and they're back here today. This is that generation. This is that generation, this last generation that we're living in now. This is Daniel chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, "Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing, nor make known to the king the interpretation thereof." Right? So they couldn't even break it down. And that's what we see happening in these last days as well. The Lord, he has hid these things from the wise and prudent. These deeper understanding of the spirit. Guys say, "Oh, don't get too deep." But the scriptures literally say, the spirit, if you're in the spirit's gonna what? It's gonna search out the deep things, the hidden things, and bring it to light. This is Proverbs 16:21. "The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning." Right? And the smartest man, the wisest man, is the one that knows he knows nothing. So he's always apt to learning. He's always able to grow and get more wise and more stronger. But the ones that think they have it all already, it basically stunts their growth, and they can't level up. And that coincides with the book of Job, where the wicked, the Lord set the bounds for the wicked that they cannot pass. It's not just talking about Esau, we see that happening, but also the wicked amongst his truth. The Pharisees and scribes, which the Lord said he's going to start judgment in his house first, for the ones that ain't right. Where he has set the bounds where they cannot pass. And it's heavy. We're in the Passover. We're coming into the Passover. You see what I'm saying? So let's get this as well. This is 1 Corinthians 1:19. "For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent." And this is heavy prophecy happening right now, man. Isaiah 29:14. "Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work, and the works of the Lord are hidden." So you have to be in the Lord's hidden place, which is His word, in this word, for you to be able to even understand what the Lord is doing right now. Alright? He's working a work which in your days it will be told you will not believe. And it's being told, it's being broadcasted, but men are shunning it. They're hating it. They're despising it. You see? "Behold, I proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid." And a lot of guys, they think their devilish wisdom is going to be able to keep them stable, but it's not. James 3 and verse 14. "But if you have bitter envy and strife in your hearts," which a lot of guys do, they have murder in their hearts, they hate their brother, and they're teaching this word. They're giving off a wicked sacrifice, which the Lord is not pleased, and He doesn't accept the sacrifice. The many sacrifices of the wicked is an abomination to Him. But if you have bitter envy and strife in your hearts, that's why a lot of guys preach Yahushua. They prophesy Yahushua of envy and strife. It says, "Glory not and lie not against the truth." When you go to the book of Sirach, it says, "In no wise speak evil against the truth." But a lot of guys are doing that because why? They're not of Yahushua. They're not of the truth, the way, and the life. They're of death. They're of the father, of hell. And when you go to Timothy, it says that because of men following their pernicious ways, by reason of the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. So the straight gate, right? You have to enter in. There's only one way. It's being evil spoken of. It's being hated. It's being looked down upon. It's being frowned upon. Like when you go to the book of Psalms, it talks about how all that look upon David, they basically shake their head. All right, this is the book of Psalms. Basically, in a countenance of like disregard and like, unpleasantness, Psalms 22:7 says, all they that see me laugh me to scorn. They shoot out the lip, they shake the head. You see? He trusted on the Lord that he would deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delighted in him. And a lot of guys, they think that their YouTube subscribers or likes, because they have the praise of men, they have money, they have clout, and they have the fame, the famous, the Hollywood of this world. They sold their soul for a piece of bread a man will transgress. They think that's going to deliver them, but it's not, man. It's going to destroy them. It says, but thou art he that took me out of the womb. Thou didst make me hope when I was upon my mother's breast. And even now, you have to be reborn again. And you're supposed to desire the sincere milk that you may grow thereby. Psalms 44:14, thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people, right? And a lot of guys are not, when you line up the scriptures piece upon precept and see how a lot of guys is teaching, what videos they're doing videos on women all the goddamn day, on things that are highly exalted, on folly, just for view counts and clout. You see that a lot of guys ain't really walking in the Lord. They're not walking in the light. A lot of guys ain't in the spirit. They're satisfying the flesh. James 3:15. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. You see? Matter of fact, let's get those 3 words: earthly, sensual, and devilish. And that's what these guys are. That's our word, earthly.
Strong's G 1919. Epigaios.
Right, which is terrestrial, right, carnal, existing upon the earth. Things of the world, physically or morally. Also means worldly, you see, worldly. And that word sensual.
Strong's G 5591. Psuchikos.
Meaning the principle of animal life, which men have in common with the brutes. The sensuous nature with its subjection to appetite and passion. And let's get that word for brutes, and I got a precept in Sirach. Right, and guess what a brute is? A brute is a savage. A lot of guys are savage. They're brute beasts, made to be taken, made to be destroyed. That's why a lot of guys are created. That's why a lot of guys are in this truth. It says an animal as opposed to a human being. Now let's get this precept in Sirach. See, it's good to say if you resist pleasures, you crown your life. But if you give in to those pleasures, then you ain't gonna get that crown. You're gonna be a servant. You're gonna be a slave to pleasure. You're gonna be a servant, a slave to the flesh. Doing things that make the flesh feel good, which that's what this truth is not about, man. This truth is all about doing away with the flesh day by day, putting it off, not caring for it. Sirach 18 and verse 30 says, go not after thy lusts, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. If thou givest thy soul the desire that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee. And that's what's happening. Daniel 5 and verse 8. Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing, nor make known to the king the interpretation thereof. And when you go to Ecclesiastes, and this comes from above, this wisdom comes from above, above. And then you're gonna be able to interpret, break down, and understand things for what they mean, while others are not gonna understand. Because the scriptures say also in Ecclesiastes 8 that A wise man's heart discerns both time and judgment. Parables, dark sayings, right? Ecclesiastes 8:1. Who is as a wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine. And what is this world going to do with that? This sincere, this real wise wisdom shine? They're going to try to put it in the dark and hide it and keep it under. You know, they don't want it to be spread abroad. And the boldness of his face shall be changed, right? So let's get that for interpretation and boldness, because you have to be bold to be a servant of the Lord. Not a pussycat, not a pussy, man. A lot of guys is weak as hell, and that's the house of Saul. And they're just waxing worse and worse. There's no getting better for them, because they're not going to be healed. They're just going to keep on being proud and proud to their own detriment. That word interpretation in Hebrew is pashar, meaning solution, right? So we have the solution. Alright, interpretation means the meaning. The meaning, right? The action of explaining the meaning of something, you see? And that word for boldness, just want to get that real quick as well, is eyes. I think eyes. It says might, strength, material or physical, personal or social or political, right? It says strength, might, use of God, right? Of men. It says of a loud voice. A lot of guys, they teach this word like this. Was one day. You know what I'm saying? It says who? It says the strong heroes. Whew. See that? So when you go back, let's go back to Daniel's 5. But when you go to Daniel's 5, in verse 9, it says, Then was the king Belshazzar greatly troubled, and his countenance was changed in him, and his lords were astonished. Now the queen, by reason of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banquet house, and the queen spake and said, O king, live forever. Let not thy thoughts trouble thee, nor let thy countenance be changed. There is a man in thy kingdom in whom is the spirit of the holy powers. In the days of thy father, light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, was found in him, whom the king Nebuchadnezzar, thy father, the king, I say thy father, made master of the magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers. You know, and where was Daniel for the most part? He was in jail. He was in prison. He was being oppressed. For as much as an excellent spirit and knowledge and understanding and interpreting of dreams and showing of hard sentences. And we see when people can't really understand hard sentences, what do? They just walk away. And same thing they did to Yahushua when they couldn't understand his hard saying of you must eat of my meat and drink of my blood. They left Yahushua. Says, and a lot of guys have left Yahushua, and Yahushua has left them. Says, and dissolving of doubts. A lot of guys, they doubt. They sound this trumpet with uncertainty. Or is the Lord with you? You see, we're found in the same Daniel whom the king named Belteshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. You see that? Psalms 40. In verse 14, let them be ashamed and confounded together that seek after my soul to destroy it. Let them be driven backward and put to shame that wish me evil. And that's what's happened to these heathens, these Edomites, and also a lot of guys that try to destroy us and our character. They're being driven backward and put to shame. And not the shame that is of, goes to Rock 4. But the shame that is of disgrace. Sirach 4 and 25. Sirach 4 in verse 21. For there is a shame that bringeth sin. Wage of sin is death. You see? And there is a shame which is glory and grace. Accept no person against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause you to fall. I don't care how great and mighty it is. And that's righteous judgment, which the Lord is raising up judges, as at the first. Thou not judge after the appearance, or how great a man is, or how highly respected and renowned he is. And that's in the law. You know, for the great man or the poor. Have no respect to persons. Judge them both equally. Alright, this is let's go to the law. Leviticus 19 and 15. Yea, shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. And that's where we're establishing the gate, and we're hated for it. Psalm 35:4. Let them be confounded and put to shame that seek after my soul. Let them be turned back and brought to confusion that devise my hurt. Right? And you know, the Most High is not the author of confusion. You know, Yahushua is the author and finisher of our faith. But for these guys out here, a lot of these guys, their author is Satan, and then who's gonna finish them is the devil and death and sin. Zephaniah 3:19. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out. And we was, man, that's heavy, because we wasn't just driven out of our land. We've also been driven out of, you know, the synagogue. You know, John 16:1. The time shall come where they shall cast you out of the synagogues. Whoever kills you think that he's doing the service of God. And that's what guys are. They're so deceived in mind, man. They're so deceived. They think by them just trying to destroy us and kill our character that they're doing the Most High service, but they're not, man. See, really, they're marking themselves, because they're the ones that's caused division, man. They're not rightly dividing the word of truth. They're divided. They're of Satan, and Satan's house divided, it cannot stand. A lot of guys are about to fall, man. It says, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. Right? So it's the humility. You have to be put to shame, right? By the majority, by the masses. Be humiliated. And then you're going to be brought to honor and praise and fame. But not of the world, but of the Lord. It's a difference. And, you know, it's heavy too, because when we read up on Daniel, you know, there was everyone was snitching on Daniel, because instead of taking heed of the king of Medos and Persia, of bowing down to him and worshiping him, he kept on worshiping the Lord, being faithful, being sincere, being real. Not just in the good times and prosperity, but also in the times of affliction and persecution. And, you know, if you don't do this, this may happen to you. And, you know, what happened was basically the same thing's about to happen now. You know, everyone's going, oh, they're not bowing down to Esau. They're not listening to what the CDC is saying and what man is saying. Oh, call Esau E and take the vaccine and call vaccine. All this bullshit. You know, we're about to be thrown to a lion's den, which we're already in a lion's den. Look who surrounds us, man. All these demons and, you know, gross darkness. But that light's gonna get us through. You know. Matthew 26:53 says, thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled that thus it must be? Right? So, you know, Lord can do anything. You know, nothing's too hard for Lord. But the scriptures has to be fulfilled. Certain things have to play out, and we're seeing it all happen, man. It says, in that same hour said Yahushua to the multitudes, are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. But For all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. So there's going to be times where you're going to be forsaken of everyone around you. But you cannot move from the rock, right? Be unmovable. Be abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing what the work of the Lord is and what his will is. John 14:18, I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you. Yet a little while, and the world seeth me no more. But ye see me, right? Because we have faith. The Lord said, those that have not seen the Lord yet love him. Because I live, ye shall live also. So we're living because the Lord is alive, man. As a matter of fact, let me get that as well. Having not seen the Lord, man, we love him. It's not just made plain, and it's not made relevant just because of what we're saying in our mouth, talking all the goddamn time, but it's because of our walk, how we're walking, our actions, our way of life. 1 Peter 1:8, whom having not seen, you see, we haven't seen him with the carnal eye, yea, love. How do you know we love? Because we feed the sheep, and we feed them the word of the Lord, Yahushua. Not you GMO, you McDonald's fast food type niggas, man, in this truth. It says, in whom, though now ye see him not, yet believing, right, ye rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls. That's right. And we don't want nothing, we don't want no parts of this world, man, because it's going into perdition, and swiftly. John 14:20, at that day ye shall know that I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you. So you have to see Yahushua in a true servant of the Lord, which is they're going to be walking like a lamb, but having that lion in them, but getting ready to get unleashed. You see? A lot of guys, they move like serpents, like snakes, like vipers, man. They got that sting of death, of sin, of iniquity, John 14:21, he that hath my commandments and keep them, he it is that loveth me, and he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him, and will manifest myself to him, right? So the Lord is manifest upon his true men, which is only a few, and they're scattered, but they're in the times in the midst of being gathered together. So that word manifest is evidence of clear, obvious to the eye or mind, right? It's obvious to ones that have their mind, a sound mind, and their third eye open. You know what I'm saying? We're not making our bet here. We're not comfortable here. Amos 4:1. Hear this word, ye kin of Bashan, that are in the mountain of Samaria, which oppress the poor, which crush the needy, right? You don't strengthen them with his word, which say to their masters, bring and let us drink. The Lord power hath sworn by his holiness that, lo, the day shall come upon you, they will take you away with hooks, and your posterity with fish hooks. And right now we're fishing. We're in some dangerous seas. And just like the Lord's about to put them hooks into Moab, not Moab, Magog and Gog, right? Russia. That's why you have Biden taking shots at Russia. It's getting heated up, man. If you're really looking on the fields and really like watching, you see what's going on. It's happening quick. But we're in the time of the hunting coming too. Like the brother did a video on that. So that word posterity is end, latter time, right? And when you go to the prophecy in Deuteronomy, all right, our people, they didn't consider their latter end, just like this whore, just like this virgin daughter of Babylon. They didn't consider their latter end. Amos 6:1. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion. A lot of guys are at ease, they're comfortable, they're secure, they're living at peace. And I'm gonna say this too, a lot of guys, they don't labor with their hands. They probably get manicures and shit, that woman shit. A lot of guys, they sold out. A lot of guys, they don't work with their hands. They don't have to labor and work. And they're house niggas, man. That dude from Django, Samuel L. Jackson played him. That dude from Django. And even when everyone in the house was dead, he still fought for that house. He still he still tried to fight Django to keep that house up, the house of the wicked. So guess what? He got destroyed with that house, man. A horrible death. He got burned down with it. And that's what happened to 2/3 of our people. Let's get that word for ease. Alright, Sha'anan, meaning, right, it says at ease, secure, quiet. A lot of guys are quiet, man. Careless. A lot of guys are careless or proud. Look at that. Pride, arrogance, security. Right? A lot of guys are proud, man. Haughty in a bad sense. So it says woe. It means destruction and demise, man. Jeremiah 49:31. Arise, get you up unto the wealthy nation that dwelleth without care, saith the Lord, which have neither gates nor bars, which dwell alone. And their camels shall be a booty, and the multitude of their cattle a spoil. And I will scatter into all winds them that are in the utmost corners, and I will bring the calamity from all sides thereof, saith the Lord. So the Lord, he's going to bring a swift judgment from all sides, from all ends, upon this place that dwells at ease, this wealthy nation. Luke 6:24. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received consolation. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers the false prophets. So we know that all you guys are speaking well of and praise, you're a false prophet. You know, Job 27:17. He may prepare it. I'm sorry, verse 16, because a lot of guys are, get gold and silver. Your gold and silver ain't gonna save you. It's gonna actually perish with you. Job 27:16. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay. A lot of guys, they got all kind of different garments for every other day. And when you go to 2 Ezra 16, the Lord said he's gonna be more angry with you when you basically deck out your persons, man. He's gonna be more angry with you, man. And that's an effeminate spirit to be in, man. Yeah, we like good things, but you see a lot of guys, they have that spirit on them of in the book of Joshua, when that Judite he took that Babylonian garment when he wasn't supposed to, that curse thing, and he brought it into his house, and all Israel, they couldn't stand before their enemies. Same thing now, man. Our people, they're covering after things and coverings and garments and clothings, right? Physical and spiritual things of this world. And that's why a lot of our people that's around these guys ain't able to stand before their enemies. That's why a lot of guys are retreat. They're retreating back into the forest and the children's playground. They don't put it off childish things. They're not men. So 2 Ezra 16 and verse 47. And they that occupy the merchandise with robbery, because all these riches were gone by deceit, by robbery, by theft, by bloodshed, by murder. The more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. You see, so the Lord's angry right now, man. Job 27 and verse 15. Psalm 17. He may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. That's right. And we're gonna have a perfect balance. We ain't gonna tip the weight. Like that's what they used to do in the ancient times. They would use deceit to tip the weight towards them, so they get more out of the deal. Instead of something being 2 shekels of silver, they'll get it for 10 shekels of silver, because they'll mess with the weight. And there's actually a scripture for that. Balances of deceit. Hosea 12:7. Verse 6 says, therefore turn thou to thy power, keep mercy and judgment, and wait on thy God continually. He is a merchant, the balances of deceit are in his hand. He loveth to oppress. And when you watch that movie, Joseph, I think it is, but it's like a kid's movie kind of the Bible, like Bible stories. they show you a perfect example of that, and he calls him out. He calls him out on his shit. You know, and he basically spots that out, and he gets exalted in Egypt, Joseph. Pretty sure it was a movie, Joseph. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is Joseph, King of Dreams, right? Joseph, King of Dreams. So if you haven't seen that, it's cool. Check it out. False balance. Let's see. Yeah, it's not coming up on the search engine. But yeah, you guys just check out that movie. You'll see what I'm saying about. Proverbs 23 and 27. For a whore is a deep ditch, and a strange woman is a narrow pit. So a lot of guys, they're not the Lord's woman. They're this world's woman. They're whores, they're prostitutes. Everything they do, and whenever they make love, is just for money. And it's not with one. It's heavy because our power is one. Achad. They have many different powers. Israel has many strange gods. They have a strange fire, which is about to get put out. It says, and a strange woman is a narrow pit. So it might seem like it's a straight gate or it's a narrow gate, but it's not. It's a pit. It's death. It says, she also lieth in wait as for a prey, right? See, they're comfortable. They're lying down. They're crouching down. And that's what the scripture saying in Sirach 12. Though he crouched himself and act humbly, take heed, because his wickedness has not been all wiped away. Now, it doesn't go for Esau, it goes for our people too. And increaseth the transgressors among men, you see? And that's what times we're in. First Samuel 4:8. Woe unto us, who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods? These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness. And them same plagues are happening now through the foolishness of preaching and by us speaking it into existence and us lifting up holy hands to the Lord. Job. It's like Ecclesiastes 4:10. For if they fall, let me start at verse 9. It says, two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. Right, they're able to get more done and also faster, right, before time is up. You must work the works of him that sent us while it's still day. Verse 10. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to them that is alone when he falls. And a lot of guys, they might have huge camps and shit, but really in the spirit they're alone. The spirit ain't there. The Lord's not with them, so really they're alone. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. And who's gonna help us up? Yahushai. Ezekiel 2:10. He spread it before me, and it was written within and without, and there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. And if you ain't bringing out Matthew 23, where it hit the whole chapter is Yahushai speaking. That's testimony of the Lord. That's a huge part of it. And it was just woe, woe, woe unto you hypocrites, you Pharisees and scribes. And we're going to keep on saying that, man. It ain't going to change. We ain't going to add or subtract from the scriptures in the word. Because we have respect unto the commandments. Let me pull off on that. Psalms 119 in verse 6. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments, right? And all those that put their trust in the Lord are not going to be confounded or ashamed. I will praise thee with the uprightness of heart when I shall have learned thy righteous judgments. That's right. always edified and built up and strengthened. All praises, glory, honor, and fate. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash, above all, destruct to all the anti-Yahushais, and salvation to the house of David. Stay strong. Shalom.